Today I'll be showing how the Mirage meta is going to change in CS2 from CSGO. With the Mirage A Smokes in CS2 with the smoke features and volumetric, you're going to see that it's not going to leave any gaps. So with the jungle smoke, it would actually leave a gap either towards the left or right side depending on how you would throw it, as well as there would be a gap if you were on the stairs between the stairs and jungle smoke like here to see sight. However, as you can see, there's no gaps inside these smokes. This is also the same case with the ticket or CT smoke. So most often than not, when Ts would throw the smoke, CTs would try to abuse it by jumping on top of the first box, which then they have a one-way to peek into sight as well as towards ramp. But you see when I jump on top, I cannot see anything, and if I jump all the way up top, I'm fully exposed at this point. Even though the smokes don't have gaps, let's not forget with the new nade feature of the smoke, you can create your own gap as you can see here, so Ts always need to be on the lookout. With the standard top con smoke, it usually leaves some room towards the left and right side for CTs to play behind. With the features of this new smoke, you're going to see the volumetric effect go and disperse on both sides. So if you are towards the stair side, or the CTs are, you are fully smoked out unless you push up towards the top of the stairs. The top con smoke is still going to be very viable and meta in CS2 as it was in CSGO, to take mid control, con control, to have a lurker put in place, to go up catwalk, etc. One common play that Ts make often with the top con smoke is that they're going to lurk up connector and walk through the smoke towards the stair side. However, as you can see, there's no more gap to where when you walk through the smoke, you can't see anything. You're fully covered by smoke unless you walk up the stairs. Let's look at the other common execute where you smoke jungle as well as smoking top con. There's the jungle smoke, and then here is the top con smoke. These two in tandem in CS2 will leave no gaps, meaning there's no gap inside this corner between the two smokes. And then as I shown earlier, the CTs cannot play stairs unless they want to be fully covered, or they have to be exposed by pushing up on the stairs. Before I go on any further, here's a word from my sponsor. Use promo code NART and you're going to get a free 50 cents and a 10% deposit bonus. Instant window smokes are still going to be meta. Make sure to check the description below as I covered them in a separate video. In CSGO, to counter the window smoke, you would throw a Molotov inside window, which would mess up the smoke from landing, creating a gap for you to hold top mid, even a one-way. However, as you can see here, there is no gaps made and the smoke still fully covers, which means throwing a Molotov will be useless now. When window is smoked off in CSGO, there is a light pole above underpass where you could spot when Ts jump up into window. However, in CS2, there is no light pole, so you're not going to be able to see when the Ts get into window. Be careful. When window is smoked off, one thing CTs like to do in the pro scene is to Molotov the top mid boxes. Here's the fast lineup. It still works. Once you're in the rat hole, you're going to aim at this line here, and then you're going to get to the right of the bench, hold W, and then left click throw. This Molotov is very useful. It's going to prevent the Ts from actually crossing, or if they have to actually expend a smoke to put it out. So this is the position that you want to get into. So let's say window is smoked off. Here's me coming through the rat hole, aiming at this white part here. And then I'm going to get to the right of the bench. Then once I'm stuck, hold W, then left click throw. Let me show you another lineup here. So you're gonna actually go on top of this bench, and then you're going to aim here, and then without moving your mouse, you're going to strafe over to the same bench inside the window, then hold W and left click throw. Let's take a look at the standard top mid smoke that you would throw in CSGO, where you jump on top of the trash can, aim at the end of the antenna, then left click throw. With the volumetric effects of the smoke, it's gonna cover up the whole catwalk. So previously they would leave a gap towards the right that you could play around as well as push up. Just be careful of any CTs playing bottom con, they could still spot the cross. The top mid smoke in CS2 can be really good, as you'll see that it denies the play from the CTs if they were to fast cat jump. You're going to see that even on top of the ground they can't see over the smoke, as well as there's no gap here towards the left. And then being inside window, you cannot see if the T's cross towards the back boxes. If you want to throw a top mid smoke with the gap on that right, like the old smoke in CSGO, you're just going to stand next to the trash can, aim here in the middle of the antenna, then left click throw. The smoke is going to leave a gap towards the right on the catwalk. You can still be sneaky and push to the right of the smoke, and you have that gap to peek window. However, the downside of this smoke here is that you're going to see that you could actually still spot top mid. The smoke fully doesn't close the top mid part. This can be a problem if the CTs have an op, as you can see they could spot the whole top mid right there to see the cross. Molly connector is really important at the start of the round to prevent any CTs from playing towards connector as well as this bottom con area. This is without the top mid smoke either blooming or if you're not throwing one. So what does it look like if the smoke already blooms? With the volumetric features, you're going to have to jump to see that corner of the window in order to get this molly lineup. In CSGO, you could still see the window because the smoke does not go that high. What would happen if the CTs were to smoke the molly? You're going to see that the smoke is going to block up the whole connector, so CTs cannot use this as a one-way. However, if you throw the smoke against the mid wall, it is going to allow you to peek like the old connector smoke on CSGO, where it gives you that gap towards the top to peek over the smoke. The bottom con smoke for CTs on Mirage in CSGO was one of the best smokes made available to that side. This smoke gave you the ability to have a one-way to peek top mid as well as underpass from inside connector. However, with the changes in CS2, you can see that the smoke fully covers connector. With the volumetric features of the smoke, you're going to want to get the smoke outside of connector in order to get that gap up top. From the right side, you're not able to spot underpass. That would be super annoying for T's coming up underpass knowing that there might be a CT with a one-way there. Here is the view from top mid if the connector smoke lands outside of connector. If the T's were to push up catwalk with this smoke up, you could see that both sides could see each other. One play that I could see being meta is knowing that the nade blows up the smoke. You could have your teammate from triple nade the smoke if you're inside connector if there's a bottom con smoke up. This will give you 1 second to peek top mid with the smoke being gone, and the nade won't do any damage to you. Shout out to James Bairdoff. Instead of throwing the cat rail smoke to split B and to give you cover from connector and A site, you're going to see teams now smoke off connector because the smoke actually covers the top part, meaning no CTs inside connector or from A spot you on cat. So I definitely see T smoking off connector more often now. You could smoke connector from this corner here, and you're just going to aim at this part of the rug, then jump throw. The lineup I'm showing you here used to be used by OG when Alexi B was on the team. The smoke would land on top of the stairs here, and Alexi B and company would actually sneak into connector to the left or right side, giving them a one-way. However, with CS2, it covers all of connector. Knowing these smoke properties, as you can imagine, all the connector one-way smokes, or most of them, are pretty much gone due to the smoke effects as well as the enclosed space of connector. Speaking of one-ways, let's look at some other common one-ways. So we're going to see here the ticket one-way from behind ticket that lands on top of ticket. If you jump on the first box, you cannot see anything. You're gonna have to jump all the way on top of ticket where you're going to have to play around the smoke. It'll give you a one-way if you play around it, so on the corners. How does that look for the T's coming out ramp? So you could actually spot a little bit of the head on the corner of the smoke. This one-way smoke still works, but you have to jump all the way up top and you need to play to the edge of the smoke. And then the most other common one-way smoke is from behind missiles. Then you go ahead and right-click throw. Now, if I jump on top of this box here, I cannot see anything. I have to jump on top of the ticket all the way up top, but at this point I'm fully exposed. For A jump spotters from ticket, so when they make contact, they usually would throw a smoke that lands in front of ticket, and this smoke actually gave you a one-way if you jump on this first box. However, as you can see, you can't see over the smoke. You have to jump on the top of ticket, which then you're exposed. Also, this smoke in CSGO would actually give you a little gap towards the right to lurk around. But you see here that it kind of works, but as well as it doesn't. Here's what the smoke would look like from the T's perspective if they made it into sight. If the CTs do tend to want to push on the edges, then the T's will have to keep an eye on that. So how I think that the A anchors or anyone playing jump spotting here is going to do when they make contact or see an execute come out is you want to throw the smoke farther into sight, which now you have the gaps to work around. The smoke will fully give you cover to push out, as you can see. Let's look at the B side and go towards Apps, where you're going to see the Aps Lurk Smoke. So the smoke fully covers apartments, as you can see. It does not leave a one-way inside the windows as it would with CSGO. You're able to creep up, like if you want to, towards the back wall on top of the dresser, and it does leave a small gap here to peek towards bench. This smoke definitely got nerfed because it doesn't give you the one way to peek out of windows, and in order for you to actually peek out of the smoke, you have to jump on top of the dresser. If somebody can find a smoke that actually lands on the first window ledge towards the right side, look at the effect of this smoke. It could be a really good Aps Lurk Smoke despite not being a one way towards this first window. It gives you a lot of space to move around. However, you're given the free gap here like it would be in CSGO with the T Aps Lurk Smoke, and then there's actually a one-way smoke towards the right of that window. So if you do find a smoke that lands on the ledge, I would greatly appreciate it. I think that could work out. Anchoring B is still going to be consist of a lot of jump spotting, and then when you make contact, you're going to most likely throw this defensive smoke here. So let's see what this smoke actually looks like. So it does bloom a little bit higher, and you're going to see here that you don't have any vision towards apartments. However, if you want to make that aggro play towards van, as you can see, you could still do that in peak apartments with it. The devs removed the infamous pixel gap here for the apartments. As you can see, you cannot spot that gap anymore from either side. So that's removed. So which means also sometimes there is a alternate jump spot where you actually spot that gap. So you can't do that no more either. What do you guys think about this Mirage meta in CS2? What do you think it's going to look like? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as I'm going to be putting out a lot of CS2 content within these next couple weeks. Till next time, NartOutHere. Peace.